And hello to all my Aquarius friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for October 2022. Now today they've dialed up for you a storyline spread. It's a great spread for general readings because it casts a very wide net across the entire sign. And it's like a bunch of mini readings all in one. It allows me to be very accurate because we're telling 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 different stories. And it's basically all about finding the story that is right for you. I've had people tell me that sometimes multiple stories do and will resonate with them. But at the end of the day, it's all about finding the home run story for you. So make sure if the first couple don't make sense, you stick with it. We're going to find yours in here. They've asked that I conclude your reading with no extra at the end. And when that happens, there's usually a reason for it, and that's because they want to focus on the main spread, the main meat and potatoes, which in this case is the storyline. We're going to end your reading with a rune stone. We're going to cap it off with that. And also, got to tell you about this wonderful display right here, the new product in the store getting bigger and bigger. So let's get started, Aquarius. We got a lot to talk about, guys. Cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save us a bunch of time. I'm going to bring you in right now so you can watch. Hit that like button if you're ready to have a great October. Oh, thought it went. There it goes. All right, guys, what I'm doing now, I like to share my table with you with the overhead here. I'm doing my ritual cuts first, basically cutting each deck into 3 pieces. And then putting them back together in a separate order. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. It's the same procedure for personal private readings. It's just like you're here with me now. So let's get started with the storyline spread. The storyline is awesome because they can talk about anything they want in here. There are no rules. These are your first 5 cards. The deck I'm using, I call this my bird deck because there's so many birds. Bird theme, bird theme. That one not so much. But anyway, the deck has a lot of very philosophical type stuff going on, and this is going to be my end here. So a lot of in-depth stuff, and that's probably why they just wanted to focus on one. So here we go. This is going to be the end of my spread because this person here is facing inward, so that brackets me off. It basically is calling for a stop. Now my inverts are half and half, so that's going to be good to go. Now I just got to get my pairings together. These are looking opposing, so that's going to split. As is this. So we're looking at 3 different stories. 3 different stories. Keeping it short and sweet. Now this is where the table does sometimes get a little full. It doesn't look like it's going to be that bad for you guys here, because we don't have a lot of major arcana cards. Really just the death card here is the only one. So that needs a couple cards to describe it. That one's good. That's good. Over here, these are both pip cards, so I'm only going to add 1 card to both of them as a group. And that is it, with the exception of some angel cards. I need some angel cards for every story. Just give us a little extra oomph, a little push about what these stories are about. And then we'll get started. Well, it's also a matter of me showing you everything. So let's make sure we're in the view here. So I'm going to go left to right. To the left of my hand here is going to be story 1 with our indigo and crystal children card there. We're going to move into story 2 right there. Got to go way up top to grab that one. Let me move this like this. All right, now you can see story number 2 right here is front and center. Check my blockages one more time. Yeah, they're good. Okay, I thought I had some more block there. And then story 3 will wrap up all the way to the right of my hand. Bend the camera that way, ending at crystal clear intentions. Let's get to work, guys. Let's get to work. Okay, make some room for myself. Story number 1, Aquarius. We start with 2 people working together. We have a good love message coming in right off the bat. 2 people working together. This may or may not be romantic. It can go either way because relationships with people go both ways. You know, some people are, you have relationships with your best friend. Usually that's not romantic. Usually, you know, if you have a relationship with your neighbor, also not romantic. Okay, so relationships with different people, if they're close to your heart, they come in on this card. This is the 2 of Cups. This is 2 people working together toward a purpose, toward something. So what is it that you're working on here in story 1? Let me move on to the next card. But it starts with a very good omen. So even if I'm looking ahead to see if we have any other love stuff. We do, so I'm not going to get ahead of myself yet. Story 3's got some good love stuff. Well, some love stuff. Let's talk about that when we get there. The next thing they show here in story number 1 is children are involved. Now, the card says indigo and crystal children, but I pay less attention to that, and I usually use that as just Spirit's way to say, hey, talk about the kids or the child or the children. It's hard to say based on this card if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 8 kids. Like there's no card in tarot that means 8 children or more than that, or anywhere close to that. So you get the idea. They're bringing up children here. So maybe you're either trying to conceive, trying to have a child. Maybe a child's just a major part of October. There's something going on there that they just need the energy. They are calling for it, something like that. Next, I have the page cards, which usually means a younger person. I'm going to come back to the child card again. Hang on. Getting more info first here. Piecing the puzzle together with you. So my page card, I asked if this was about a person. They said no. They want me to read this like the energy of the cards. So they're saying here that there's something here that you're not seeing. There's something you're not seeing. There's something, it's a message for later in regards to money or health. And when I say later, we're reading for October. So later is late October. It keys in on the later part of the month. There's something in regards to finance or health that they want you focused on so you don't miss it. Okay. And in this kind of setup, I feel like it's more health because next I have the heartbreak card next. So that is just a really rough something that either bothers your mental acuity here because it's a sword. And anytime we have sword, that's the air suit. So it basically means mental. So a very hard mental time. So mental health can come up there. It is my heartbreak card. So sometimes they can talk about heart stuff here, but in this deck that they wanted me to use for my Aquariuses, this usually means less about that, and it's just some kind of weird either situation, circumstance, just a weird something or other happening. Now, that is what they want you to pay attention to. So if it's health, if you or anybody that you love, or even your kids, or maybe you are the kid, maybe it's talk about your parent here, have some kind of weird thing going on that you feel weird at the end of the month. My stomach just feels not normal. Something feels off. I have a weird migraine. I've had a weird migraine for a few days, something like that. That kind of stuff, get checked out. It's coming up for a reason. Now, let's say it's financial, because that's the other half of this card, is that this can be about finances really being brutal, like with that same kind of weird kind of situation descriptor to it. And it's just saying here that there's something you don't see financially, and they don't want you to miss this. Maybe this is like a renewal of some form that you got on auto pay that, maybe you don't have that kind of money in there. It's just like the example that I can think of for me. Thankfully, it did not auto renew, but my car insurance that I pay for 6 months at a time, it was like, $800 or something like that for a couple car plan. And, that was set to come if I didn't catch it. So it's something like that that kind of stuff gets us in trouble all the time. But that's what they want you to watch for later in October. There's something like that can cause you kind of mental, this thing, right? Okay, so it's not specific, but we also have kids coming in there, so there's an element to children in there too. Maybe it has to do with childcare or, all the other things we talked about. There's a lot of moving parts there. Good time to remind you, good as any, that this is a general reading. These messages are not for everybody. We are going to find a story that's for you, but the messages are not going to be 100% about you. It's impossible in a general reading because we have so much bubble energy here from my great Aquariuses that are joining us. And if you're looking for messages that are personal, private, specific only to you, I do offer those on my website, scottsagent.com, and a wide variety of different products and services. Now let's get into story number 2, guys. Story number 2 starts with new ideas are required here with health. This is a more health-based message. I know we kind of did talk about health a little bit in story 1, but there's probably a big part of my audience that's going to be financial there. So this is kind of more my health focus. This is going to be, new ways of thinking, getting rid of the old ideas that don't work anymore. Let's move into some new ones. This is going to be very much moon cycle on both sides. We're going to do the moon cycles after this. It'll tie in very nicely. You'll see exactly where they're trying to go with this. They bring in healthy lifestyle. That's what lets me know very clearly that we're talking about health here. But also, basically this can go a lot of different ways. This can be small, like just getting enough sleep. A lot of people don't do that. It's very important to do that. Eating right, diet, the sleep we talked about, exercising, just getting in a good prime optimal health for you. For different people, that's different things, but that's what they bring up here in story 2. Now, they do say that there is some cleaning that needs to be done, some purging energy, some kind of like getting the skeletons out of the closet type of deal here with a lot of my Aquariuses in the health department. Okay, so this is the time that they want you to address this. Right here in October, there's no better time. So let's get to work. Now, when the death card comes in like that, it usually doesn't mean death. This actually means a renewal of some form. And in this case, like a renewal is being stopped. It's not being allowed to come in. There's something in the way. Something's got to go. So very much like, like let me give you an example. If you have a bad smoking habit, it's getting in the way of your prime optimal health. It's making this card come in blocked where, it's not getting you to where you need to be because, when you exercise, you're losing your breath because your lungs aren't strong and, just that kind of vibe. So that's what's coming up here. We have the death card inverted. So there is something that needs to be gutted, needs to be purged, and you need to kind of kick it out of here to get your health jump started here. Now they show, let me grab an extra card here. I didn't notice I had a queen. I just want to make sure it's not a person. Okay, it's not. We're good. We have nurturing here of the mindset here. So being very motherly toward your health, towards other people's health. This is very much an Aquarius shared reading. We talked about that with kids here. Maybe when I said that you could be the kid, they could be talking about your parent. Or you could be the parent, they could be talking about your kid in story 1. So over here, they're saying too, to nurture your mindset, and it's with other people involved. Realizing that the things we stress out about and worry about, not all of them are real. Some of them are things in the future, or you're worried about the past, things from the past. Neither one are real. All we have is the moment, the present day, right here, right now. So just remember, if that's something that you worry about, to try to not give it the energy. It's just not worth your time. Okay, so work on your nurturing, your mental acuity, your mental health here with that purge. Like I said, we'll talk about that more in the moon cycle, but they show it's such a good return on investment month. And this has come up for multiple signs now. It's unavoidable. I can't miss it. There's just something in the air that says, hey, this is a good boomerang month for so many signs. I don't know if it's astrological or what, but this has come up time and time again now. This is my 6 of Pentacles. Good credit, good money being moved, good energy returned. So all good things. Very nice to see. Any kind of money being moved, if it's a literal, is very good. If it's something that'll make you money or something you can trust, it's saying, hey, in story number 2, you can put the money into this. Maybe it's putting money into your health, joining a gym, buying the right foods so that you start this exercise thing you're trying to do, or maybe it's just buying an exercise equipment for the garage so you can work out at home. So it's a bunch of different ways it can go, but it's coming in as very good money being moved. It's a good return on investment. So that's story 2, guys. Now let's get into those moon cycles. You're going to see how that hits right here in story 2 because they kind of gave us both in the same story. So the first thing that hits, I like to give you guys this every single month too, by the way. The moon cycle forecast illustrates both for you. The first thing that we have coming in is the full moon that hits on October the 9th. And that's when you want to get something out of your life that doesn't fit anymore. We talked about habits in there. It could be emotional baggage, getting that out. For some of you, it's people, it's stuff. You got to sell something. You got to donate something. Whatever it is for you, if it's got to go out of your life, you can do that under the full moon much easier than any other time, and that's early in October, guys. Key in on that. Now, adversely, we have the new moon that comes in later in October. That's the 25th. That's the best time to bring anything brand new into your life. If you're trying to start something new with health, well, they told you. First, you got to get something out. Something's got to go before you replace it with something good and better. So get it out with the full moon early in October. Bring something brand new in with this brand new clean slate, wonderful setup that you've just built later in October, October 25th. Doesn't have to be on the 25th, just anytime later in the month. Works out very well for you to do that. And it doesn't even have to be about health. I know we talked about that in story 2, but this could be about bringing in new love. Some of you are trying to do something new with work. Get a promotion, get a new job, start a new business, bring in some new money. The health thing that we all just talked about here, a bunch of different varieties. If it's new moon is it for you. end of October. Now, if any of this confuses you or you just want a little graphic aid, a little visual guide, I put together a moon cycle cheat sheet for you guys. I do it every single month, and it is free. It is parked at the bottom of my website, scottsagent.com. It's on my videos page, bottom of that one. You can check that out and see how these energies move in and out and how you can align certain things in your life to these dates to just make it flow a little bit smoother. While you're at the website, make sure that you check out and are signed up for the newsletter program. That's at the bottom of every single page, and that is also free. I take great care of my newsletter people. I send one email newsletter each month. That's it. And it's just for updates, promo codes, save you money on readings. I have a bunch of great services and products, save you guys money there. And also, I give my newsletter people a couple free readings every single year just by being signed up to it. So I take good care of them. And this is a good time to join as any, because in November, something very special is going to come through there. And, tell your friends too. If your friends are into this stuff, have them sign up for the newsletter program as well. They will thank you because of what happens in November. So very good stuff there, guys, too. Make sure you follow the Facebook page. I do giveaways every single month on Facebook. Last Facebook month, actually this month, the contest was we named this guy behind me. This bear is now named Turok. And that was the contest for that. We're always doing fun stuff on the channel, so make sure you follow the Facebook page as well. Now I need to tell you about this addition to the store. I'm adding one product every single month to the store. We're building it out, slow roll. So I'm going to cut out for 1 minute while I tell you about that. We're going to come back and hit story number 3. This product was technically released last month in tandem, in unison with the Sunflower Potpourri as a rejuvenator, as an enhancer, but it does so much more than that, and now you can see it has its brand new labeling. The ladies are dressed, so to speak. When your Sunflower Potpourri sold separately doesn't smell anymore, once the scent is gone, this is the way to refresh it, rejuvenate it, and make it last for so much longer. And this is a 4-ounce bottle here, guys. It's got that same wonderful sunflower, flowery aroma, just tuned down a little bit, making it a little lighter, makes its uses much more diverse, much more widespread, and you can use this for a room spray. Make any room in your house smell better. Bathroom, room, cat litter box, use it in the car, make this car smell nice and floral, fresh. When we were designing this, we were basically like, well, why stop there? You can even wear this as a body spray. It is not as intense as a perfume. It's a little bit lighter, but it is designed to also do that. So you're going to love this so much that you'd even want to wear it. I mean, it just smells that heavenly. It's that divine. It is a great product that you will enjoy and be so happy that you picked up. Shipping free the entire month of October. I cannot promise that always, but I can promise it right now. In fact, everything in the shop in October will ship free for October only. Okay, guys, I am back. That mister is something phenomenal. Once you smell it, you'll know what's up with that. Let's get into story 3, new love. New love. This is what people love to see in readings. It's coming in for Aquarius. In October, there is new love, great new love potential here in October. Don't want you to miss it. In this deck that they wanted me to use for you guys too, this is hearing about something too. So you may hear from a friend like, hey, I know somebody really great for you. I mean, maybe you got to ask sometimes too, like, hey, anybody who'd be a good match for me? And you never know. Sometimes you're very surprised with what you can get out of that. But we got new love coming in, guys. And even if you're coupled up, you're a coupled Aquarius, you're married, you're engaged, you're in any stage of the relationship, this is still that same great love. It's just like overflowing emotional good stuff, moving the relationship to greater new heights, or just being around loved ones, great overflowing emotions. So it's good to see no matter what. That's what we start with story number 3 with. They do show that there is, it's kind of coming in to break the, I don't want to say stagnation. That's a little bit strong for what they're describing, but boredom. Maybe boredom is better. Break the boredom. Some of you have been a little bit bored with the mundane. Maybe, this is just, let me give you the marriage example. The marriage has just been like so routine, nothing new or exciting, just, basic, your everyday routine. Or the other side, if you're single, maybe it's just you've been bored. There hasn't been any good people coming around lately. It's just been like, I don't even want to waste my time with it anymore. Well, this is the break in that. They show that this is going to take some hard work, though. This is not necessarily something that comes easy. So you got to kind of put yourself out there. You got to go after a little bit. And even if you're like the married example, It just means that, you got to put the work to get the reward out of it, just like we talked about that ROI in story 2, that return on investment. So you can see how these stories do kind of slightly attach and weave. It's the web that we're weaving. This is how general readings are allowed to work and able to actually be accurate. So there is work to be done to break this boredom, to get this love flowing, and they're reminding you here too with my Angel Oracle card, Crystal Clear Intentions, and this is Archangel Michael. So this is the big one. There's only 2 archangels that are named in the Bible, and that's one of them. So this is the big one, bringing in the big, strong energy of crystal clear intentions. Be very clear about what you want. That's the only way the universe is going to know what to give you and deliver it to you. You have to be very clear. If you're like, I'm not really sure what I'm looking for right now, it's just like, well, what are we going to do with that? From the other side, they're like, well, just let them figure it out. We'll come back later when they're more mature or ready for it, or they've got it figured out what they're looking for at this phase of their life. Timing's a huge deal. So be clear about what you desire, focus on it, and then once you focus on it, have the faith. That's the big F word there. Have faith that it's going to come to you. It's going to work out. Because if you're on the other side of that and you're like, oh, it's never going to happen, I'm never going to find anybody, or this marriage is never going to improve, it won't, because that's what you keep putting out there. It's what you're going to keep getting back. That's what you're telling the universe. You're telling basically what you don't want to happen, and you're kind of starting a nasty cycle there. So, it's very good. It's a good story. There's nothing bad to be said there. I'm just kind of giving you a rough go of it here to make sure that you are on the right side of it and you kind of get to where you're trying to get to, because this is laying it out there that you guys have wonderful potential here in October, regardless of what story you're in, regardless of what relationship or single status you're in. None of that stuff matters. This is a nice little break in the boredom and the monotony, and take advantage of it. I'd hate to see it go to waste. It's such good energy. It doesn't come around all the time. So let's hit your runestone, guys. Let's hit your runestone, then we'll wrap up. I know it's been a long reading. Long reading for such a small, 3 stories. Give these guys a quick swirl around, and then we're going to get your runestone. It's going to be this one. All right, let me show you this. This is the runestone for possessions. Possessions. So it's not anything profound. They're just kind of taking this opportunity to say, hey, there are some Aquariuses here that have some stuff that needs to be sold, donated, gotten rid of, given away. Plug in the word you'd like to use. So we have possessions. They want you to pay attention to something that you have. And it may not be necessarily to sell, but maybe something you have needs attention. It reminds me of a friend of mine who has a motorcycle that sits in his shed that he doesn't ride very much. It gets dusty and dirty and doesn't get maintained all the time necessarily. So this could be a call for something similar to that for you. Of course, it's not going to be identical, but it's saying, hey, pay attention to your stuff. Something's being neglected, or something needs to grab your attention again here. Your attention needs to be placed on something that you own, like a physical possession. So that's how they decided to wrap up your reading. Very interesting. We have some good stories here. Good advice in story 1. Story number 2 was kind of pushing some healthy lifestyle changes, and story 3 was just such a wonderful window for you guys. Very diverse reading, but like I said, you can see the commonality, the common thread that goes through them all. Very fascinating reading, and I enjoyed it. This has been one of my favorites so far this month. So that's it, guys. Me wrapping up right now, right here. Remember to like and subscribe so you see the future videos, and have a great October.